Hey everybody, I have here on me the Xiaomi Mi A3. So this is the latest model in Xiaomi's Android One series. So Android One is basically Google telling Chinese brands, please use our stock Android software and we'll give you some benefits like timely updates. So this phone, it's mainly targeting at the European market right now. It's priced at 250 euros, which is about 280 American dollars. And to be honest, at this price, it's a little bit high. But you know, that's not to say Mi A3 is a bad phone. There are actually quite a few features about the hardware that I quite like and compares pretty well to rival devices. So for example, I really like this glass back. It's Gorilla Glass 5 and it definitely feels more premium in the hand than the composite or plastic backs of Realme phones. And around the front, there's an in-display fingerprint sensor. Like, it's pretty crazy that we get this type of feature now in budget devices. I'm not surprised the fingerprint scanner works very well because this is from the Shenzhen company Goodix, which I made a video about like 2 months ago, and their scanners are just awesome. I mean, it works every single time. As you can see, there's a triple camera system on the back, headlined by a 48 megapixel main sensor with an 8 megapixel wide angle camera and a 2 megapixel depth sensor. Around the front, you have a 32 megapixel selfie camera. Camera performance overall is pretty decent. I wouldn't say it's great, but it's definitely not bad. Dynamic range suffers when you're shooting in an overcast day or right now when it's just starting to get dark, and definitely photos at night you're gonna get a lot of noise and grain, unless of course you turn on night mode. If you shoot with night mode, then you'll get shots that are better balanced and better lit, but they do look a little bit artificial. But for the most part, the cameras, if you have good lighting, colors are accurate, colors are sharp, the camera focuses pretty well, and the wide angle camera offers 118 degrees of field of vision without any distortion. And in video recording, you can shoot at 1080-30 or 1080-60 up to 4K30. At 1080-30, you get really smooth, stabilized videos. I mean, look at this. This footage is pretty impressive. But if you shoot at 4K30 or 1080-60, then you see there's no stabilization and it becomes quite jerky. So overall, the camera on this thing, it's solid, above average, not great, not bad. And there's a relatively large battery inside, 4030 milliamp hour battery, so that's definitely gonna last you all day. And you have a headphone jack too, so that's something that you don't even get on like 99% of phones nowadays. So this is definitely a selling point. It's kind of sad to say that a headphone jack is a selling point, but here we are. But then there are some areas of the phone not too good, especially at this price range. So first of all, this is a 720p resolution panel. I mean, it's an OLED screen, but it's 720p, so it's not that sharp. I mean, for the most part, if you're on Instagram, on YouTube, it's fine, but it's just ultimately there are phones out there that are cheaper with a sharper screen. And also the chipset in here is a Snapdragon 665, which definitely it's not the most powerful chipset out there. And I ran a Geekbench score. So on the Geekbench, it scored only a 1527 single core and 5614 multi-core. So that's, you know, not the most powerful phone out there. And there's only 4 gigs of RAM, which makes this phone kind of slow. Like, particularly in the camera app. So in the camera app, this actually frustrates me. Every time I switch modes, I mean, look at it. You have to wait like a quarter of a second. So, you know, this phone is just a little bit slow for August 2019. Even at this price range, you can get a Meizu 16S at around the same price for a Snapdragon 855 and with 6 gigs of RAM, and that is much faster. And even the part that's supposed to be the selling point of the Xiaomi Mi A3, the stock Android, I'm not even that impressed by it because honestly, I think stock Android is overrated, man. I mean, a few years ago, when Chinese Android skins, or not even just Chinese, when third-party Android skins from LG, Samsung, Huawei, Xiaomi, they were pretty terrible, then yeah, stock Android was so much better. But now in 2019, I think most third-party Android skins have caught up. For example, I think Oppo's Color OS, OnePlus's Oxygen OS, and Xiaomi's MIUI, all three of these softwares are better than stock Android. They not only look more aesthetically pleasing, they allow you to do more customization to your phone. You can actually implement a dark mode on a OnePlus phone, whereas stock Android, everything still has to be bright white. Like overall, stock Android just looks a little bit stale. For example, look at the Xiaomi Mi A3 with stock Android on the left, next to the Poco phone running Xiaomi's MIUI on the right. Now look at the notification shade. I actually think the notification shade looks better on MIUI on the Poco phone than it does on the stock Android. And on top of that, I can bring down notification shade by swiping anywhere on the screen on the Poco phone, whereas on the Xiaomi Mi A3, I have to reach all the way to the top, which is one of my biggest pet peeves about stock Android. And then also look at multitasking. When you multitask on MIUI, you get all the apps laid out vertically. It's very clean, it's very nice looking, and you can go through the apps very fast. Now, when you want to multitask on stock Android, you only see 1.5 app at a time, and it takes several more swipes to cycle through the different apps that you have open. And also on MIUI, you have 3 different types of navigation to choose from, whereas on stock Android, you're stuck with this stupid Android 9 pill. This pill sucks and there's no way to get around it. I have to use this pill. Not only is it not intuitive, I mean, look at the animations. When you go home and bring up the app tray on the MIUI, it's a lot smoother than on stock Android. The pill navigation actually takes up space on the bottom of the screen all the time. So this means when you open something like Instagram Stories, on MIUI, you get to take advantage of the full screen. But on stock Android on Mi A3, you have that stupid pill navigation that's taking up space on the bottom of the screen. So, ultimately, I think stock Android is a little bit overrated, but that's just my opinion. Plenty of people in the US and Europe probably disagree with me. And for you guys, if you really like stock Android and don't want to pay too much, then the Xiaomi Mi A3 may be worth considering. But ultimately, I just think the price of this phone is too high because there are devices from Meizu and Realme that are much cheaper. Now the good news is Xiaomi will probably sell this for a little bit cheaper when it releases this in India and maybe other parts of Asia. I think when it comes to India or Vietnam or Singapore, it might sell for like $200 or 220, and at that price I think it's worth considering. At $280, it's just a little bit too much. So I'm gonna have more videos coming this week on the Samsung Galaxy Note 10, on a couple of Realme devices, and a DJI product that I don't even know what it is yet. Like DJI told me there's something for me to review, but they won't tell me what it is. So we'll find out. So if you're interested in following tech, particularly tech in Asia, please subscribe to this channel and follow me on Instagram at Ben's Gadget Review. Thanks for watching.